Welcome to the Lights in the Night Show with Russell Johnson, who wants to talk about and reveal what the United States government doesn't want you to know about UFOs and aliens right here in this country and around the globe. Russell has been following this material for over 50 years and will have guests who will tell their stories from around the world. Take down the number to call in, 888-565-1470, because Russell wants to hear your story. Our show also invites you to send your pictures and videos to UFO@amp2.tv so we can show them on our program at lightsinthe.night.tv. Now, let's get to the Lights in the Night subject matter and hear what the government has tried to keep quiet for over 50 years. Again, get ready to call 888-565-1470 and watch on lightsinthe.night.tv. Now, here's Russell with today's show.
Hi, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. We have, hey, lady.
Good evening.
Lady Barrett, Lady Christopher is with us. Go ahead, open up, lady.
You want me to open up?
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome,
Please.
Everybody. I don't know that we have a call in tonight. We're waiting to see.
Well, it's all right.
But,
he may or may
yeah.
not. That's okay.
Yeah.
But
it'd be really good.
one of the things that we can do is, just in case, if he does, I hope he does, we had one cancellation, and then the cancellation gave me another person, and I really didn't confirm it, except through email. So
Right.
I always like to confirm.
And this guy's from Ecuador.
Yeah, he's down there somewhere, hiding out, but it's okay. Maybe he might call it, and I certainly hope he does.
Yeah.
But let's look at the issues that we've in the last 5, 6, 7 weeks.
We've had some amazing guests.
Right. Hollow Earth. What kind of impression did you get of Hollow Earth? And could you just, for the people who may be listening for the first time, could you talk about what Hollow Earth is all about and what Zora is talking with Billy?
Zora, Billy.
Yeah, Billy. Yeah.
Billy's dad, Zora, who channels.
Right, he channels, yeah.
And actually, I didn't get to ask him because Billy's wife had said when he channels, it's not like people hear the channel. They actually switch bodies. So Billy goes down into Hollow Earth. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know perhaps what Hollow Earth is, it's a story that there's a civilization of very advanced beings that live within our Earth in various places. And there's a big society down there, the Agarthans, with Lemurian descent.
Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe people might know those terminology, so you might want to...
Well, I didn't know Agarthan either till last week.
Right.
So that's what they call them, and Lemuria was a time before, like people talk about Atlantis. The Lemurians were supposedly very peaceful people, and the Atlanteans supposedly, which was news to me, were warriors. I didn't know that, but even Hitler was so into this Hollow Earth thing, he sent one of his ships there. And apparently, according to Billy or his dad, that ship went in because it disappeared, and they went into Hollow Earth, which to me is kind of funny because they said there are 3 prerequisites, right? You have to have a harmonious heart, no malice thoughts, and no weapons. Isn't a battleship kind of all of that? How'd they get into Hollow Earth?
Right. Well, the bottom line is that some people believe there's a Hollow Earth. As a matter of fact, I was listening to some other people on the internet just the other day, and there are many of whom believe that all the planets are hollow inside, and there are people living inside of those planets. I mean, even in this solar system. Right. I mean, you know that the scientists have found 3 different planets in our solar system recently. So, I mean, the revelations will keep coming.
And some say that those planets are actually ships.
Yeah, right, true. That's what somebody said when you think of the moon or you think of the sun, they are probably ships. Yeah. And people are controlling that. It's a lot out there.
There's a lot.
There's a lot out there. And even NASA said the other day, you remember NASA?
Right.
They said that they have some signals from other places around the world. And even in the Vatican made a disclosure that don't be surprised if aliens really exist, but it does not conflict with our interpretation of the creation that God made man.
Right, and I think they have to say that because if all of this is starting to come out, I think they've got to, per se, cover their butts like this because it could alter. It's like saying the world isn't flat anymore. That's a big revelation.
Well, it will alter because, and I didn't bring the other book, it was a big study done for the Senate and Congress back in 68, sorry. And it was talking about, in one part of it, and I'll bring it next time we discuss that. And it says that if it were true that there are species coming from different planets, then it would probably shake the whole foundation of the society, because then it would disperse the fact that
It would put everything in question.
the religion, psychology, sociology, philosophy, and it's going to do that because there are entities on other planets, and they are coming here.
Well, just since we started doing this show together, every time I leave, I have very strong belief systems because I've had different encounters, and I'm not saying with aliens, but other things. So what I teach is from proof. And when I used to take people swimming with humpback whales, I'd do documentaries and interviews, and everybody would try to say, hey, what about the alien connection with the humpback whales? And I said, unless they're landing in front of me, I can't save or preserve the whales and go to the White House and going, oh yeah, well, the aliens. But every time I leave the show and I hear different pieces of information, it's starting to alter belief systems within me.
Well, it's going to do that because it's really coming to the fore. A lot of discussion going to be around the world. A lot of discussion among many groups is coming to the fore. And even Ed Mitchell, the gentleman who lives in West Palm Beach, who was an astronaut, he walked on the moon.
Yes, I've met him several times.
Okay, well, he says it's true that there are aliens and there are spaceships, and so he's on record. As a matter of fact, we should bring him to the microphone.
Yeah, we should. I'll try to get a hold of him.
I think we're up on 10 minutes after the hour, and there's a break. And what I want to come back and talk about Roswell. We talked about Roswell just briefly. Let's revisit that.
Okay,
because that's really important.
That's where it kind of all starts for us.
Yeah. So, folks, lightsinthenight.tv is where we are. And for those people who have not listened to some of the other programs, they all archived there. Lightsinthenight.tv.
.tv.
Right.
And if you want to call in and have any questions, tonight's a great night. So you can call in at 888-565-1470. We'd love your questions.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. 565-1470. 888-565-1470. Lights in the Night.
Hey, business owners, are you frustrated because you can't find great salespeople? The kind that close the deal and bring in the cheddar? Advertise your open sales positions on the salesmojoshow.com. You get live mentions and web career finder presence Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM. The Sales Mojo Show will have therapy sessions for salespeople, helping them find, sell, and close prospects, as well as offering a simple way to find a great sales career job. Your job. Hit up the employee line at thesalesmojoshow.com and tune in Wednesdays 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM and close the deal. Are you dealing with chronic pain? Would you love to increase your energy and vitality? I know I had excruciating back pain. It hurt to stand, it hurt to sit. I would do exercises my chiropractor gave me, and I worked through that pain, and then I was introduced to Soul. Visit www.yes2soul.com to buy some today. Soul is an incredible health and wellness product made of seeds, black cumin seeds. Now, when I researched the health benefits of black cumin seeds, I was shocked and happy to learn that seeds have been used for thousands of years to bring relief to a wide range of health issues. Soul is a great product. It's also a great business opportunity with Rain International. Call me today. My name's Jessica. You can reach me at 954-379-7260. And let's talk about Soul. Or visit yes2soul.com. Or call me 954-379-7260. Invest in your health and wealth today. Hey, business owners, are you frustrated because you can't find great salespeople? The kind that close the deal and bring in the cheddar? Advertise your open sales positions on the salesmojoshow.com. You get live mentions and web career finder presence Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM. The Sales Mojo Show will have therapy sessions for salespeople, helping them find, sell, and close prospects, as well as offering a simple way to find a great sales career job. Your job. Hit up the employee line at thesalesmojoshow.com and tune in Wednesdays 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM and close the deal.
You are listening to the Lights in the Night Show with Russell Johnson, who invites you to call in at 888-565-1470 and send us your pictures and videos at UFO@amp2.tv. Join the conversation and let us hear your story. 888-565-1470. Now, back to our show.
Okay, back here, 1470, lightsinthenight.tv. So if you have missed some of the other programs that we've had for the past 7 or 8 weeks, all you have to do is go to that website and it's archived. They are archived there. So here's that article I was talking about. NASA astronaut Ed Mitchell says aliens are with us, and that's a whole article on him. And
Right.
he lives right here in Florida in West Palm Beach, so we need to get him back on the show.
We do. We
Yeah.
really do. He's a great guy.
He's a great guy, yeah. And a lot of credibility, Dr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, we say when we come back, we're going to talk about Roswell. You've been doing a lot of research lately. But what do you think about Roswell? That happened in July 4th, 1947.
I know, what an incredible time, right? And
Right.
so they couldn't expose it then because we had just come out of a war, and so there was all this fear, supposedly. But they were doing all kinds of, how I understand it, testing with waves, and that's what kind of jiggled these ships, and it was more than one, out of their own grid, and they fell, and couple of them were alive, right? And so they have Roswell. My curiosity is, did they build Roswell after? Like, that's never a question we've asked. Like,
What's that?
when was Roswell, the actual underground thing, built? Was that built, obviously, after the ships crashed, right?
Oh, you're talking about Area 51?
Area 51,
Oh, that's
yeah.
a different ball game.
Okay.
But Roswell, that New Mexico,
Yeah.
that was a town, and they crashed there.
Right.
And then the Army came in and
Isn't
confiscated.
Area 51 near there?
No, no.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
We were jumped in. Let's do the Roswell bit
But
first.
here's what's interesting about Roswell. Apparently, years ago, I had these Native Americans hanging out at my house, and they had this whole book of symbols.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that one of their tribes actually had one of the aliens that survived and spoke to them telepathically, but was more in communication with one of the elders' little children. And the child would get these images, and he would draw the symbols, and the symbols were what actually ran the ships. And each one, I have the book. I'll have to bring it into you.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Right, yeah. For people who want to know at least a piece of that history, obviously you can Google Roswell.
Oh, yeah.
And get a
you
lot
go
of it.
down a rabbit hole.
No, it's a lot of information.
Lots
Good
of-
information. But the other piece, too, is that if you were to get Steven Spielberg's Taken, it's a 13-hour miniseries that Steven Spielberg did maybe 13 years ago.
Right, is Dakota Fanning in
Yeah,
it?
absolutely,
and-
absolutely. And they can get that, well, one way you can get it, I think, is $69 for all 13 hours.
Amazon.
Amazon, yeah, because I have a copy
But
of that.
I found it somewhere free. I started,
Yeah, you
and I
can.
can't, and I haven't been able to re-find it. But I started watching it. It was very interesting because you have the three simultaneous stories.
True.
One of Roswell, one of the one person or a couple people are abducted.
It's all about Roswell, the whole 13 hours. The whole 13 hours. And my sources say that 98% of it is true, all 13 hours. But that's my sources. But anyway, if you want to look at that, and you don't want to spend the $69 that Amazon would charge you, you can always go to this website and see it for free. Let's see, what is this? Where is this? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's The Real Truth Call. The Real Truth Call, number 2, the figure 2.com.
Great.
And if you go there, you'll see the whole 13 hours free.
Well, I got hooked and
Yeah.
then I lost it.
Right, it's free.
Yeah.
It's there. It's all
My
there.
computer crashed
Right.
along with the
It's-
ships.
It's there, and also there will be the 1450 NN. Correct. I'm sorry about that. 1470, the radio. The people who are on the PC can punch up this radio show and watch it live.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, right. So
That's
it's
great.
there. Yeah.
But so it affected the whole town. I mean, they were kind of told to be quiet. The one guy, didn't he have a piece of the metal from
Yeah,
the
he
ship?
did. Yeah, he
And
turned it back in.
And didn't it morph and do things?
Well,
and-
if you look at the motion, the 13-hour series, you see all about
the weather balloon, right?
Well, that was a cover story,
Right.
disinformation, as they say. So that was a big one. Now that wasn't the only crash of a spaceship. You had one at Aztec, New Mexico, and then you had many others.
Right, they were like right around the same time.
Right.
Like 14 ships or something crashed.
A lot, yeah, somewhere in that vicinity. So, if you do your homework, folks, for those individuals who want to study this, I mean, because it's coming, there's more and more
And
disclosures.
it's so interesting.
Yep. And speaking of interesting, we got a couple minutes before we take another break. But have you checked out Dr. Stephen Greer? He's the Project Disclosure. If you Google Project Disclosure, you will see Dr. Greer. He was a surgeon, and he decided to stop being a surgeon and do a lot of research on this. He travels all over the world now. As a matter of fact, he's doing a big seminar, I think, in Spain and one in the UK.
Did we have him on?
No, I wish we did. No.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he's had tons of credibility with him, but we talked about him, I think.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, right.
But if you want to follow what he's doing in those in the European countries of the world, in the European area, that he just push him, Dr. Stephen Greer, Greer, and Project Disclosure. It's a big deal over there.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
really interesting.
So it's a lot of information, folks. So, if you just Google all of this, and a lot of books. George Norrie, he has an all-night show, and Art Bell years ago. Millions and millions of people were listening to those two guys. I mean, it's
right now, David Wilcox has the Corey Goody, who's coming out with a lot of information.
All right.
Locke, that's the operations center on the other side of the moon.
Okay. That's another big
Locke,
piece.
that's a big one.
Well, you have some information on that. Let's disclose that when we come back after this break. It's 20 after the hour, and we're going to do another break at 20 after, and right back here on 1470 AM, lightsinthenight.tv.
Keep it tuned here.
Tune in.
Stay tuned.
Now.
You can tune into this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones.
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at tunein.com.
Or your app store.
Hey, business owners, are you frustrated because you can't find great salespeople? You know, the kind that close the deal and bring in the cheddar? Advertise your open sales positions on the salesmojoshow.com. You get live mentions and web career finder presence Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM. The Sales Mojo Show will have therapy sessions for salespeople, helping them find, sell, and close prospects, as well as offering a simple way to find a great sales career job. Your job. Hit up the employee line at thesalesmojoshow.com and tune in Wednesdays 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM and close the deal.
Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470. WNN.
Hey, business owners, are you frustrated because you can't find great salespeople? You know, the kind that close the deal and bring in the cheddar? Advertise your open sales positions on the salesmojoshow.com. You get live mentions and web career finder presence Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM. The Sales Mojo Show will have therapy sessions for salespeople, helping them find, sell, and close prospects, as well as offering a simple way to find a great sales career job. Your job. Hit up the employee line at thesalesmojoshow.com and tune in Wednesdays 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM and close the deal.
You are listening to the Lights in the Night Show with Russell Johnson, who invites you to call in at 888-565-1470 and send us your pictures and videos at UFO@amp2.tv. Join the conversation and let us hear your story. 888-565-1470. Now, back to our show.
All right, back here on 1470 AM. I'm Russ, and this is Lady Barrett, Lady Christopher, if you like. I think she would be like Christopher better.
Lady Christopher, yeah.
Okay, right.
It defines that I'm a female, right?
Ooh.
So we'd love you guys to call in. I'm sure somebody's got a question out there for us. 888-565-1470.
Lady Christopher, how did you even broach the fact that this may be true, the aliens may be here, that the Greys and reptilians, and some people say at least 100 different species from different parts of the universe are here?
You know, I've been a skeptic forever, but the more you go into it and you start listening to people that are really credible, like generals and colonels that are past their silence period, it's not only are the stories in sync, they don't change. You know, when we talk to certain people, it's consistent. You know, and if it's a lie, there are inconsistencies. But this is consistent. And the more you go down, you see the similarities in the stories and people's experiences, whether they were abducted. You know, there's that movie that was up in the town in Alaska, The Fourth Kind, or something.
The Fourth Kind, yes,
right?
yes.
I mean, she was starting to look like an alien at the end of that show.
Well, she had some problems with that. I mean, but they, without disclosing, for the people who want to watch, I think everyone should watch that.
Yeah,
it's a true
little
story.
Scary.
Well, it's a true story.
It's a true story.
In Nome, Alaska, and they recorded everything, and they documented everything, and they made it a motion picture so to educate us.
And it's interesting because they have the motion picture playing and then the documentation playing simultaneously, so you can see that this was real and this was really happening. I've seen two ships in my life.
Oh,
what
yeah?
I think unidentifiable things. One when I was a small child, a big blue light, and then with about 40 witnesses down in an ashram in Paradise Island, Nassau, Bahamas. And we all saw it, and it came in and went in the water, came up, and then shot across. We're all like, did you see that? Like, what was that?
Maybe that was a rocket shot from...
Yeah, but it kind of made these, like, weird, you know.
No, I'm just teasing.
And, you know, but a skeptic I am. You know, I've been out in the middle of the ocean for 20 years with whales and dolphins looking at the sky, like, you know, reveal thyself. You know, and I don't see it. I was down in Ecuador, in Peru, where people say they see them all the time. You know, I didn't see them. But when you start reading the information and you go down these, you know, extensive rabbit holes, you start to go, oh, you know, maybe there's something to that.
Yeah, I think, well, I was reading the other day that 83% of the people believe that it is a possibility that entities from other parts of the universe are here.
I mean, it has to be. We're not just the solar system. It's a vast, we can't, you know, it's not a very humbling thought to say, oh, we're the only ones. You know, we can't be.
Out of billions and billions and billions of planets and billions of universes out there, we say we are the only one. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
No, I don't think so. So here we are.
So.
But you mentioned the colonels and generals, and for instance, this guy Heller. Could you talk about that? He made it.
Who's this guy?
He was.
Collier urges world leaders to reveal secret files.
And he was what?
Canada's defense minister
Absolutely.
from 1963 to 67.
Yeah, we have to get him on the air.
Yeah, he'd be a good one.
He'd be a good one.
And he says that aliens have been visiting our planet for thousands of years.
Absolutely.
Which would make sense. You know, how do you have the same hieroglyphics in Mayan temples and the Egyptian pyramids? Like, really? in like the Mayan temples, I've seen some of them, which I never put it together because we just started learning about these blue avians, which is this a race, a species that are about love and helping, and they're very peaceful. But it seems to me I've seen pictures of them carved in temples.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, but I'm just hearing about it now. Like, who are these blue avians? I like them. You know, supposedly they're slowing down the energy coming to the earth, so we don't go mad, so that we can come into a more peaceful place. Like, I love the people we interview who are about love. You know, and that, yes, do we do a lot of damage to our planet? Absolutely, it's terrible. We need to be more reverent and more humble and more connected to back to the earth. You know, and so I like these ones that we interview that are more like there is hope. You know, it's not this lost hope we're going to be destroyed. And if we have a little outside help, I think we could use it. You know,
Right. The you know, I ask you, what brought you to the fact that to think about the possibilities that there are other species, other entities on the planet, and you said you thought you saw a spaceship on two separate occasions, a
Yes.
UFO, if you will. What any other indices, indications?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I have sort of a gift for seeing, and I have, you know, we call my home Narnia because it's really magical, because I believe in all this stuff. But when in this contact with angels that I've had for decades and decades, you know, I leave a show and I'm starting to think, well, maybe they're angels, but maybe they're actually an extraterrestrial. And you think about it, of course they are. You know, I mean, that's what it is. It's out of this world. So it started making sense. It's, as I said, it's starting to like shake my beliefs, but also make more sense of what's going on.
So have you disclosed this to anybody, your friends? What do they think about you? They say
I
she's...
think I'm a freaking whack job.
Oh, I see, I see.
But you know what's really funny? But you know what's really funny? I'll call them, you know, they'll just left the house, and I'll call them and go, oh my gosh, this like insane thing just happened. This thing just appeared in my altar. And they're like, you know what? Hang out with yourself for a while. You'll get used to it. We have.
You must have some, maybe a story or two. I see we at 6:29, maybe on the bottom of the hour. We want to take a break, I guess. But you maybe there's a story or two that you want to share with us. I mean, that we don't want you to disclose something that's...
Well, here's...
But when we come back from the break.
Yeah,
how's
okay,
that?
sure.
So, folks, if you have a question, you have a comment, you have... some doubts, give us a call, 888-565-1470, 888-565-1470.
Are you dealing with chronic pain? Would you love to increase your energy and vitality? I know I had excruciating back pain. It hurt to stand, it hurt to sit. I would do exercises my chiropractor gave me, and I worked through that pain, and then I was introduced to Soul. Visit www.yes2soul.com to buy some today. Soul is an incredible health and wellness product made of seeds, black cumin seeds. Now, when I researched the health benefits of black cumin seeds, I was shocked and happy to learn that seeds have been used for thousands of years to bring relief to a wide range of health issues. Soul is a great product. It's also a great business opportunity with Rain International. Call me today. My name's Jessica. You can reach me at 954-379-7260. And let's talk about Soul, or visit yes2soul.com. Or call me, 954-379-7260. Invest in your health and wealth today.
Hey, this is Ira from the Sales Mojo Show. Our show is designed to help novice, intermediate, and professional salespeople alike to attain their maximum earning potential through education and participation. Tune in Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. to the Sales Mojo Show.
Okay, back here, lightsinthenight.tv. For those individuals who are listening and have missed some of the programs that we've had in the past 5 or 6 or 7 weeks, then you can always go to that website and see the ones that are archived there.
There was some really interesting
It
speakers.
was, yeah. We've had some interesting speakers. And
I
today
love them.
we would have had another one, but it had a little. Greg was supposed to be with us to talk about the cure for cancer and all of that.
That one I'm really interested
Yeah, I
in.
was really wanting him to be there. But anyway, his website is, what is the website? I'll have to think about it. I got it somewhere. But he said he couldn't make it today. So I said, well, we'll wing it. Because I have Lady Christopher with us, and she's going to tell us some of her experiences with aliens and angels and whatever, reptilians and grays. Go ahead.
I don't have any
Oh, you-
experiences with I have a lizard I feed from my hand in
Oh,
my
I
backyard.
see,
That's
I
my
see.
experience with an
I see,
reptilian.
I see.
But a whack job, right? So my friends actually, they expect the unexpected from me. And they're like, you're so funny. You get so excited when these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're like a kid. And you'd think you'd be used to it. I go, no, it's like always so crazy magical. It's like funny. And I had friends over last night, and I'm like, oh yeah, the lights turn on and off. They're like, they do not. And whatever presence is in that house, all of a sudden the lights go out.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, see, there you go. Okay. Like, I'm not near a switch. I had a fan running for several months. One of the big ceiling fans wasn't plugged in.
Oh.
Okay, I mean, I'm talking about weird stuff, right? Like, you
right.
can't explain it, but I love that because I always say, I need it absolutely, that you cannot explain it away, right? So here's an interesting one. I had put a little Post-it note on one of our saltwater aquariums, and it said infinite love and gratitude, to change the molecular structure of the water, right? Dr. Emoto, right? And I went into my meditation and I was commanding, and I said, that's it. I need proof positive. I mean, I'm a sass with these beings, and I'm like, and I was so into it, and I could really feel it. I was sure like lightning was going to hit the house when I came out of the meditation. There was nothing, all right, nothing. So the next morning, I had no lights in the night or no lights going on in the house at all. Next morning, I wake up, I'm feeding the macaws. I have a zoo, the wolves, and I get to the saltwater tank to turn on the light, and there's a whole lid.
You have wolves?
I have 2 wolves, yeah. They're
Okay,
awesome.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so I have a bird that swears too.
Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
So anyway, it's got a full lid on it because it's a saltwater tank. That Post-it note, which was done in magic marker, all right? What happens when you put water on a piece of paper with magic marker? It bleeds. This Post-it note was in the tank, right down at the center, straight up, looking at me, infinite love and gratitude. How did it get in there?
I don't know.
Like, it was a big deal.
I can't-
Like, it
I
was,
can't.
yeah. And I have like tons of these. I had a tree that grew from my tears. It only grows in the Dominican Republic. And I had come back from the Dominican Republic from being with the humpback whales. I'm an empath, so I felt something very intense, and it was the whales had beached themselves. I didn't know at the time, these other whales. And I was at an outside altar that I had made with a Buddha and all that, and I was crying, but it felt like the tears of the whales. And they're like, we're leaving, and I'm like, I thought it meant all the whales on the planet, And I'm like, no, you can't leave. We're waking up. We're going to take care of our oceans, I promise, blah, blah, blah. And it was so strange, and I got this just terrible sound in my ear that really imbalanced me. And I went inside, and I called a psychic friend of mine, and she says, the answer is in your house. I'm like, really? Like, come on. Well, funny enough, I pull up an email, come to find out these whales had beached themselves because of the LFA sonar from the Navy ships that they put out, right? And so that was the sound in my ear. It was a crazy experience. A couple months later, this Buddha has this like little plant like over his head, and somebody said, oh, I'll pull that weed. I go, no, don't pull it. I have a strange feeling about this. It's this huge tree now, and this huge tree grew in like 2 years. Very, very strange. I've also had a burning bush in a rainstorm in my house while I was with a friend of mine who's a medicine man. We had just done a peace pipe, tobacco folks, The peace pipe.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah, right. I don't do anything else. I don't need to. I'm already a whack job, right? So we don't need any help there. So we've done this peace pipe. It starts pouring rain, and we go under cover, under an awning, and we're looking out, and there's a little burning bush.
Okay.
Explain these things.
Was Moses, did he show up? No, I'm kidding.
Well, he didn't, but you're
but-
wondering now, is this all angelic? Is this actually extraterrestrials at work in different dimensions, like coming through?
What
Did
do you-
Moses, was he in contact with
Right,
extraterrestrials?
could have been. What do you mean you are an empath?
An empath is someone who feels others' emotions and sensitivities very, very deeply. It's a hard cross to bear because it's great for me because in my work it helps being very compassionate. I can really understand
What is your work?
My work is I am today's terms would be a life coach, but I'm a life recreation specialist. So I work a lot with couples, communication. Conscious communication. I do weddings. I'm a minister. I
So you
help people heal their hearts, find their right purpose and their path.
Oh, yeah?
Best-selling author now.
Okay. So anybody who wants to get in touch with you and
Facebook right now is the best thing for some
Is that it?
reason. Yeah, because my website went down. Google's trying to figure out what happened to it, but yeah, Christopher Barrett, Barrett on Facebook is the best way right now.
No telephone number?
561-367-1185. Or you can email me at natures, Natures, interpreter, interpreter, at Comcast.net.
Wow, a lot of information. Maybe we need to do that information one more time before we go to this next break. We have about a minute away. You mentioned Dr. Emoto. Who is that?
Dr. Emoto, he just passed. He was this wonderful Japanese scientist, and he came up with the water theory that you and I can sit here with a glass of water. Water has memory. He believed water was God, basically, at the end. And you and I will put a glass of water in between us, and we'll just think love. And we now freeze that, take a little chip, put it under a microscope, and it looks like, snowflakes, like crystalline, beautiful figures. If we run the same test and think thoughts of hatred, jealousy, greed, nothing's together, it's all separated, and it looks like amoebas. So like I'll tell our body is 80% water. 90% of that is in our brain. So this goes into the thoughts create, right? So I always say to people, do you want to be an amoeba or do you want to be a crystalline figure? Because our thoughts have energy. They are energy.
Well, again, your number, your website, before we go on.
561-367-1185, and the email is naturesinterpreter at Comcast.net.
And it's all happening right here at 1470 AM. And that's lightsinthenight.tv.
Are you dealing with chronic pain? Would you love to increase your energy and vitality? I know I had excruciating back pain. It hurt to stand, it hurt to sit. I would do exercises my chiropractor gave me and I worked through that pain, and then I was introduced to Soul. Visit www.yes2soul.com to buy some today. Soul is an incredible health and wellness product made of seeds, black cumin seeds. Now, when I researched the health benefits of black cumin seeds, I was shocked and happy to learn that seeds have been used for thousands of years to bring relief to a wide range of health issues. Soul is a great product. It's also a great business opportunity with Rain International. Call me today. My name's Jessica. You can reach me at 954-379-7260. And let's talk about Soul, or visit yes2soul.com. Or call me 954-379-7260. Invest in your health and wealth today.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now,
You can tune in to this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones.
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at tunein.com.
Or your app store.
Hey, business owners, are you frustrated because you can't find great salespeople? You know, the kind that close the deal and bring in the cheddar? Advertise your open sales positions on the salesmojoshow.com. You get live mentions and web career finder presence Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM. The Sales Mojo Show will have therapy sessions for salespeople, helping them find, sell, and close prospects, as well as offering a simple way to find a great sales career job. Your job. Hit up the employee line at thesalesmojoshow.com and tune in Wednesdays 7 to 8 p.m. on WNN 1470 AM and close the deal.
You are listening to the Lights in the Night Show with Russell Johnson, who invites you to call in at 888-565-1470 and send us your pictures and videos at UFO@amp2.tv. Join the conversation and let us hear your story. 888-565-1470. Now, back to our show.
Okay, back at 1470 AM, and this is Lights in the Night.tv. For those individuals who have not heard us before or who have missed a program or two, go to that website, and they are all archived there. Now, in the future, I think we want to cover more different crashes. One is that Aztec and some others. But I want to do crop circles.
Crop circles, totally. Like,
Right. I want Linda Mutin Howell. She's a genius at that. I want to have her on the air. I want to talk about pyramids and Eisenhower meeting aliens in 1954. Did you,
and
you know that
Eisenhower,
story?
yeah, you know what? It's so funny. I found out in just the most bizarre way because it was a documentary on Jackie Gleason, and they were very good friends. And Eisenhower took Jackie Gleason to go meet his alien buddies. Like, I'm watching this is like late at night. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like,
Okay, that's a stretch. You
it
say
is a stretch.
because from what I understand, he met him at Holloman Air Force Base somewhere. Anyway,
Yeah, apparently he took Jackie Gleason with him to meet them. Jackie had to swear to silence, but it was his wife that after Jackie Gleason died came out with it and said, this is what I know. She said, I didn't see him. I wasn't invited, but yeah.
The other, wow, that's
I know.
interesting. So Laura Eisenhower. Though, folks, if you want to get a little feel of what we are talking about, Laura Eisenhower, that's his
Granddaughter?
great-great-granddaughter, something like that.
Great.
She's all over the internet talking about this with Andrew Basago, who said that he had been to Mars and he was there on several occasions with the person now in the White House, Obama. He said he was there with Obama.
Yeah, like how, really? Like, how don't we know this?
I don't, listen, I
If
don't
all
know.
this is going on and we have the Lunar Command Center on the back of the moon,
Okay.
like, we did, really? Well, wouldn't we, like, it's the Lunar Operation Command on the backside of the moon. It's called LOCK.
Okay.
Really?
Who told us about that?
That came from Corey Goody.
Okay.
On the David Wilcox that's on Gaiam TV.
Oh, yeah?
He's interviewing him once a week for 52 weeks. I think you can sign up for it for $10 or
is that right?
$10 a month.
Oh,
The
sign-
first two are free. You can go on YouTube and see the first two interviews. But he's captivating.
Well, help me out here. Because I didn't know that. Gaiam TV?
Gaiam TV. You know, the one with yoga and Tai Chi? Yeah.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah. It's GAIAM
GAIAM TV.
TV.
And then I punch that up and it comes up and I can see David Wilcox?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, the first two half-hour interviews, or I think actually
What is
one
David
was
Wilcox talking about?
He's interviewing Corey Goody.
Oh.
And Corey Goody is out of his silence, but his story is interesting. At age 6, he was taken to the Coswell Air Force Base where same kind of story, right? The tram, the elevator that went way down, and then the tram system. in a sub shuttle, and then he went through some Stargate technology, apparently to Locke on the other side of the moon, where he had to sign a contract at 6 years old that he was in service for 20 years. And then he was sent out, and he's an empath and an intuitive. And those were his gifts. His parents were, I think, in the Air Force also. So he goes and he gets trained, and then at 13, he becomes... he's in the intruder programs, or he does the interrogation for all these different species of aliens, and because he's telepathic, intuitive, and then he can trust his empath to know whether they're telling the truth or not, mean harm or not. And so he's an interesting guy, like really. He's like I think he said there are 5 factions in the secret space program. There's an ICC, Interplanetary Corporate, the Dark Fleet, the Black Ops, the Global Galactic League of Nations Group. Like, he goes on. And apparently, I don't know if it was just now since he started doing the interviews with David Wilcox, or some interview he was doing, something happened and they rushed his house, and I didn't hear the story because now I have to pay to hear the rest. I haven't signed up yet. But something, he was going to expose something, and I think they threatened his family. Something happened. Interesting. And see, that's that, they want to keep it undercover. Well, so, why? If all this is this is fascinating.
But it's going on all over the world, and has been, what's a Chariot of the Gods, remember that book?
Sure.
He talked about it. It became extremely popular all throughout the world in many languages, so he put that book out.
I mean, if all this is so true, why are we just like we have space shuttles going up? Really? Is that just a facade to cover up what's really going on?
I think part of it is, there's so many answers.
Right.
Maybe 50 major reasons and 200,000 minor reasons that this is going on. But one of the things that happened back in 1938 was that Orson Welles did that show, War on the World, remember?
Oh, sure.
And what happened?
Fear.
What happened?
People were like scared.
And they
panicked.
In the streets and all. So that was 1938. And
Don't you think we're a little bit more advanced now?
Well, we are slow to change, you know that.
Yeah, we are. We're stubborn. We're stubborn
we thought
species.
The world was flat for a day or two. Remember about that?
Yeah, exactly. So now it's not flat. I think this will be like the next thing, like that, because it's big. To find out the world wasn't flat. Can you imagine? What do you mean the world's not flat? Right. Well, now it's like, what do you mean they're like aliens and there's a lunar command center and
right? So
people living in the earth.
And I'm reminded of that motion picture with Tom Cruise, and the guy says, "You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth." Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah. Most people can't handle the truth they were given the truth. They would be. When I used to do these kind of shows 25 years ago, back in Baltimore, and I was covering about 30 stations across the country. But anyway, I remember I walked into this water hole. It was a bar. And I was saying to someone, I'm going to do a show on Grays tomorrow. That's 25 years ago. And this lady says, please, don't talk like that. I don't want to hear any of that. I'd rather talk about the 30-second rerun of I Love Lucy or something. I don't want to hear about that stuff. I'll watch Jerry Springer any day, but I don't want to hear about that crap.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious. I want to hear about it all. Like, shake my belief system, please.
But
it's fascinating.
She was a school teacher. She said, I don't want to hear about that stuff. And I said, all right, sorry about that. Abductions. So do you believe that people were abducted in big numbers? Do you believe that?
I really do believe that.
Why do you think that?
Because there are too many, and the ones, when you research them, they've like the same story, and they're in different parts of the planet. They're not like hanging out on the phone, go, let's make up the same story. Like, their stories jive together, with the experiments. Now, I heard rumor that was the Greys, and they weren't so nice, and they were breaking laws by doing that. And they've been supposedly kicked out of the Galactic Federation for doing no-nos.
That's somebody's theory. So
yeah, there are a couple people with that theory.
Yeah, my sources say it's not true, but that's all right.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? But you mentioned abductions. there's a book called Incident at Exeter.
Incident at Exeter?
Yeah, it was back in. It's a motion picture.
Really?
And it's a book. So people should do a little homework about Betty and Barney Hill. They had some missing time when they went home one night in 1968, somewhere around that vicinity. But that's a good motion picture and it's a good book.
Really?
Oh yeah. So people want to catch up with that.
So did they have any memory during that missing time?
No, they were put under by a hypnotherapist, and they kind of it was a little convoluted, but it was a big story, and the book sold very well, and it's still being talked about.
Well, and it's interesting because some of them say that when they have the missing time that they've implanted a different memory or an experience, so they wouldn't remember the actual.
Easy.
And then chips, they put chips in, or
yeah. But many people say that the brain is a crystal anyway,
right?
And it's easy to erase your memory. Very easy for them to erase. Because if you were 200,000 years or 25,000 years ahead of me, in terms of your mental capacity and what you could do,
sure,
they could do many things. So,
well, sure, because just think when we get amnesia, right? We have no memory. And that's just something that happened in the brain.
Right.
Whether it was a defense system for survival, so you don't remember something horrific, or, you hit your head or whatever, there's got to be a little pin in there that they can just tweak and your memory's gone. Like for somebody, as you said, 25,000 light years ahead of us in all of this, that's got to be ABC. It's probably like cutting fingernails,
Right. And then some people do hypnotherapy and all that and regression. So again, coming back to that motion picture, The Fourth Kind, if you haven't seen it, you should get it.
That's huge.
That's huge.
They took her child.
Yeah.
And there's the officer that went to that house that night, he left his camera, the police cam was still running through the whole thing.
Absolutely. So people should get that motion. And that's a true story. Nome, Alaska. So it was a big...
I'd like to get her on the show. She lives in like North Carolina or something now.
Well, maybe she might not want to get...
Yeah, I think she's probably...
For those individuals who want to do some more research, I mean, this is a little thing that we're doing, but Art Bell, he's been around for many, many years, and he's had, thousands, millions of people listening. Chime in here. Come on, tell us about your experience. George Norrie and Art Bell and all those people. Give us your experience, because the engineer here, he's been around a long time.
At least for decades, where he's been doing overnights and things like that. And what was it? The Kingdom of Nye. That's what it was.
Okay.
Where he has, and isn't his son doing shows and things like that?
Really?
Yes. Yeah. He's been on. I've been in broadcasting over 30 years. He's been in place for that long.
Wow.
Doing that.
Wow.
Yes.
What's the most powerful thing that he has said that has stuck with you?
Well, I'm a skeptic.
Okay.
This is the second time I'm listening to the program.
Okay.
So I'm listening, but I'm going to be the devil's advocate on the other side of the room.
I
like that.
So, yes, I have some issues yet, but like you said, I think you quoted it about a half hour ago. I won't repeat it, but we're going to see if we can see eye to eye eventually.
Okay.
I'm being upfront. Am I a believer, as the song goes? No, not yet.
Okay. No, I can respect that.
I'm not necessarily a believer either. I just have a really incredibly open mind to. There's something going on.
Yes, but society dictates that they're going to be pointing the finger to say, wait a second, when they start hearing these stories, or at least when you bring up that subject, it is a taboo to say, wait a second, you're a little like off kilter, absolutely. I'll be that up front. And you know that, right?
I do. Like, no harm, no foul.
Okay.
Okay. Well, a lot of researchers, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. A book I would recommend that people get is called The Day After Roswell by Colonel Phil Corso. He just passed. And he says that when he finished the book, he was above top secret clearance. And he said that he handled all of the Roswell crashes and all of the abductions and all that kind of top secret information for the past 50 years. And if you get the book, Above Top Secret, okay, I'm sorry, The Day After Roswell, it'd be a good book to read. Yeah. And then there's another guy out of England, Philip, what's his name? Above Top Secret. Good, his last name. He does a heck of a lot of research. I mean, the book's about 600 pages long.
Really?
Oh yeah. He's got several books out now. Above Top Secret was one. I think I just got another one. Earth, it's called. That he documents everything. Has been doing heck of a lot of research for 40 or 50 years.
That are above top secret that even the president doesn't have.
Absolutely, that's the MJ trouble. And next, I'm going to bring somebody on to talk about all of that. That was started back in 1948, 49, the MJ-12. But we'll talk about that. I see we have about 3 minutes left. And that's 3 minutes, is that where we are? 3 minutes left?
Yes,
three
and
minutes,
a half. Yes.
3.5 minutes left. So, in wrapping up, we kind of just chewed the fat.
We
so
did
to speak.
chew the fat. And I really recommend you go into the archives. We have some really interesting people. Michael Legion.
Okay.
And Lori Lenton.
Yeah.
Loved her.
Yeah.
It's all about love. I like the ones that are about love.
But we're going to bring in some real serious people to the microphone pretty soon because
I have another guy, Thunder Light. I just talked to him last night, but he actually creates holograms for your transmission in your car, right up to one called the Golden Eagle that when you put your water on it, it charges water, and it supposedly, we're talking about curing cancer.
Okay, all right. And we want to talk about Nikola Tesla. We want to give that whole history.
He needs some time.
Yeah, of course. Or Laura Eisenhower. We're going to talk about Linda Howell, who talks about crop circles. We will talk about the pyramids. So we're going to
love the crop circles. They've gotten really intricate lately. Have you seen them?
Yeah, absolutely. And then we're going to talk about the Bermuda Triangle and Atlantis and all of that. So anyway, a lot of subject matter that we will be discussing in the future. But right now, thank you very much for listening to lightsinthenight.tv. And if you have any suggestions, any comments,
questions,
anything, any takeaways, you always give us a call, 888-565-1470, 888-565-1470. So we have 30 seconds. What do we have? 30 seconds? Okay, great. Lady, thank you. Lady Barrett, Lady Christopher, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for
everybody.
listening right here. Lightsinthenight.tv, 1470 AM.
Who knows what we'll come up with
in
next?
Boca Raton, Florida. Thank you.
Right.
Thanks a lot. See you next week.
Bye.
Are you dealing with chronic pain? Would you love to increase your energy and vitality? I know I had excruciating back pain. It hurt to stand, it hurt to sit. I would do exercises my chiropractor gave me and I worked through that pain, and then I was introduced to Soul. Visit www.yes2soul.com to buy some today. Soul is an incredible health and wellness product made of seeds, black cumin seeds. Now, when I researched the health benefits of black cumin seeds, I was shocked and happy to learn that seeds have been used for thousands of years to bring relief to a wide range of health issues. Soul is a great product. It's also a great